Before WhatsApp, before iMessage, before the endless scroll of social media, there was another addiction. A digital obsession held in the palm of your hand. It was nicknamed the BlackBerry, and for years, it was the most powerful status symbol on the planet. It was the blinking red light that promised a new message. It was the satisfying click of a real, physical keyboard under your thumbs. It was the exclusive world of BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. From the President of the United States in the Oval Office to the most powerful CEOs on Wall Street, the BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was a lifeline. It was the ultimate tool for productivity and power. So how did this empire, built on security and an addictive user experience, crumble so quickly and so completely? How did the device that defined professional communication become a relic of a bygone era? This is the story of how BlackBerry texted its own demise. Our story begins not in Silicon Valley, but in Waterloo, Canada, with a small company called Research in Motion, or RIM. Led by the brilliant engineer Mike Lazaridis and the sharp-witted businessman Jim Balsillie, RIM had a singular, revolutionary idea: to perfect email on a mobile device. While companies like Nokia were focused on phone calls for consumers, RIM targeted the untapped market of business professionals. They understood that for a lawyer, a banker, or a politician, instant access to email was a superpower. Their first devices weren't even phones, they were sophisticated two-way pagers. Their masterstroke was creating a system that was incredibly secure and efficient. BlackBerry's servers compressed data in a way that made emails arrive instantly, without draining the battery. And then there was the keyboard. The iconic, curved QWERTY keyboard that was so perfectly designed, users could type out long, complex emails without even looking. They didn't just create a product, they created a loyal, almost fanatical following. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry was on top of the world. They had successfully expanded beyond the boardroom, capturing the hearts of regular consumers, teenagers, and celebrities. The key to this expansion was BlackBerry Messenger, or BBM. It was an exclusive, encrypted messaging service only available on BlackBerry devices. Having a BBM pin was like being part of a secret club. It was the original social network, long before others dominated. The company was a fortress. Their security was legendary, trusted by governments and corporations worldwide. Their network was reliable. Their battery life was phenomenal. And their keyboard was, in the eyes of their users, perfect. From their perspective, they had built an unbreachable castle. They believed they knew exactly what the customer wanted: a tool for communication, not a toy for entertainment. When the iPhone was unveiled, the reaction inside BlackBerry's headquarters was not panic, but smug dismissal. They looked at this new device and saw only its flaws. A fragile glass screen? A virtual keyboard that you had to tap on. Terrible battery life? And it ran on AT&T's slow network? To them, it was a toy. In a now famous interview, Jim Balsillie said, "It's kind of one more entrant into an already very busy space. In terms of a sea change for BlackBerry, I would think that's overstating it." They fundamentally believed that no serious professional would ever trade the speed and accuracy of a physical keyboard for a clumsy, error-prone touchscreen. They failed to understand that the iPhone wasn't just a phone. It was a window. A beautiful, full-screen window to the internet. The game was no longer about how efficiently you could type an email, it was about the richness of the experience. It was about watching videos, browsing real websites, and soon, using applications. BlackBerry was selling a tool, but Apple was selling a universe of possibilities. BlackBerry's first attempt to respond was a catastrophe. The BlackBerry Storm, launched in 2008, was a touchscreen phone with a bizarre, clickable screen that was meant to simulate a physical key press. It was a buggy, slow, and universally hated device. It was a product born from a company that didn't believe in its own concept. As Apple's App Store and Google's Android market exploded with hundreds of thousands of applications, BlackBerry's own app world was a barren desert. They were slow to open their platform to developers, and their software was notoriously difficult to work with. They made another fatal mistake. They kept BBM exclusive to their own devices for far too long, thinking it would keep people locked into their ecosystem. Instead, users simply migrated to cross-platform apps like WhatsApp. They were trapped by their own success. Their entire identity was built around the physical keyboard. To abandon it felt like abandoning who they were. So while the world moved to large, beautiful touchscreens, BlackBerry continued to release phones that looked like they were from a different era. The end was a painful, slow bleed. The company went through massive layoffs, leadership changes, and a collapse in its stock price. They eventually surrendered, releasing BlackBerry-branded phones that ran on Android software, a tacit admission that they had lost the platform war. But by then, their brand had lost its magic. It was no longer a symbol of power, but a symbol of the past. In early 2022, the company officially decommissioned the last of its classic operating systems and services. The era of the BlackBerry, the blinking red light, the BBM chats, was officially over. The company that had connected the world's most powerful people had finally logged off for good. The story of BlackBerry is a powerful reminder that what your customers love about you today can become the very thing that holds you back tomorrow. They listened to their existing, loyal customers so intently that they failed to see the new generation of customers who wanted something entirely different. Nokia, Microsoft, BlackBerry. Three titans, three empires, all brought to their knees by the same revolution. A revolution that started not with a better phone, but with a better idea of what a phone could be. But what did that revolution look like from the inside? How did Apple, a computer company with no experience in the phone market, pull off the biggest gamble in corporate history? That's the story for our next episode, the bet that changed the world. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to share this video and subscribe to the Unscripted Show for more deep dives into the stories you thought you knew.